Welcome again, Scorpio. Dadhichi Toth here from astrology.com.au with your September 2015 forecast. You know, it's a month of big breakthroughs for a lot of you. The problem you've had is one of your ruling planets, Mars, although very, very well placed in your 10th house of career, has been in the company of the retrograde Venus. That's your 7th ruler. It's got to do with the general public. It's got to do with business partnerships. And so that's not altogether working for you. And that's shown some of the delays there in the professional arena. Still, you've got that lovely conjunction of the Sun and Jupiter. It's just passed in your 11th house. So this normally shows an opening out and a fulfillment of your desires, notwithstanding these delays that have been going on. I will jump straight to the significant transit for you this month, which takes place on the 18th, the long-awaited transit of Saturn out of the sun sign of Scorpio. This is a tough one. It's one that only happens every 29 or 30 years. It takes around 2.5 years for it to transit out of this place. But I'm telling you, this is going to be very welcome relief, especially for those of you born at this time of the year now, at the very fag end of Scorpio, because Saturn will have been really hammering you at this time. But it's good news. It moves into the second sign for Scorpio, which is Sagittarius. Less pressure on you personally if you've been feeling rather heavy in spirit, and I know a lot of you have. Some of you may have even become reclusive, not feeling confident or trusting of other people. Some of you may have endured some pretty tough business associations. Then the exit of Saturn from your sun sign is going to be a sigh of relief, basically. It's going to shift that intense, dark, restrictive energy of Saturn into a different area. Now that means your finances will come under great scrutiny hereafter. We're going to talk more about that over the coming months and years, because as I said earlier, this is a slow moving transit and one that makes sure you are restricted so you can understand things. It will curtail your activities there. It will limit your scope. And you're saying, why is this good, Dadhichi? Well, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. That's that old saying. And one of my other favourite sayings is that without deviation there is no progress. You know, when you've got that limitation or that constriction and that necessity, that itself necessitates a change. That forces you to think outside the square and create new opportunities for yourself. That again requires occasionally deviation, and it's only those that deviate from the norm that are able to create something astoundingly fresh and new. These are the pioneers. So through this, I believe, even though it may curtail some of your earning power for the time being, it is going to offer you the chance to look outside your normal scope of activity and creativity. Your ruling planet, Mars, that's your ruling planet along with Pluto, moves out of the 10th house this month. It moves into the sign of Virgo, the 11th house, and does that on the 25th. The retrograde Venus goes direct on the 6th. But you won't expect to see the full results of Venus for a couple of weeks after that. And that would make sense. That will coincide with the forward, rather the transit of Mars into the 11th house of financial gains. And I believe this period for you around that transit of Mars, around the 25th, this is the last week of the month, is probably going to be the better week of the month for you. Mars will move into conjunction over the coming weeks of Jupiter, another excellent planet for you, ruling your 5th house. and second house of finance, fifth house of speculation. So in that 11th house, this is exceptionally good and brings with it some powerful opportunities for profit, especially if you're in business. You're saying, hang on, doesn't that contradict what you just said a minute ago, Dadhichi? You just said that you can expect a curtailing of income with Saturn in that second house. In the business sense, what can happen, if, say, you're running a business, you can see increased profits, but not necessarily pay yourself anymore. You might actually pay yourself a little bit less, especially if you want to take those profits and a little bit of the top end of what you earn and put it into a new direction. For some of you, it may not mean a curtailing of your income as such. It can change the way you view and value money. Some of you that have been spendthrifts will start to think, hang on, I don't need to spend money on this or that or the other to feel satisfied. So there's a few ways that this combination of planets can play out, and of course that will depend on a whole lot of other factors on your specific birth time, where you were born. That is why personal reading is far more beneficial to you, because here we're just giving a blanket prediction for millions and millions of people. So understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg for you. So we can see a lot of the focus here on money, profits, business. I haven't talked too much about relationships, although, Venus is also important to you as the ruler of your marital sector. Having been in retrogression, there could have been some backward moving events, some revision of the relationships themselves. This is not bad, this is actually good. But that forward movement, which we mentioned on the 6th, giving its full effects of forward motion after a couple of weeks, I think augments your relationships very, very strongly. It doesn't yet move into the 11th house of proper fulfillment till next month, that's October, but at least you can see your relationships taking a turn for the better at this time. The other couple of things I didn't mention, we talk about the new moon. We see the solar eclipse there on the 13th, and that takes place in the sign of Virgo. And Virgo, as we mentioned earlier, is the sign of friendship for you. Some of you have become reclusive. Some of you are finding a lot of your past friendships aren't as strong as they used to be. People are moving out of your life. And here we see the new moon can bring with it that positive upliftment that you want in that area of your life, the chance to meet new people, not just new people, but people that actually mean something to you. You're probably questioning the value of some of your relationships over this last year or two. And now is the opportunity for you to, move forward and to extend your circle of influence and make some new acquaintances. The moon completes its transit in the same sign that it commences it in September, in the sign of Aries, in the 6th house of health, well-being, diet and work practices. That's on the 28th. And so this full moon is very much to do with how you work with others, connecting with them too emotionally rather than it just simply being a repetitive pattern. So if you can focus on that in the last few days of the month, I think that's going to hold you in good stead into the next month. Don't forget, you can get more information on this month at astrology.com.au. The daily readings will augment our textual-based readings for the month, and that in the larger context of the yearly readings. We're here to help you. If you've got any questions, you should subscribe to our channel here and visit me at astrology.com.au for more personal questions. Until next month, I hope it's a good one. Good luck. See you soon. Bye-bye.